My name is Jonathan Klein. Give me one second. I am the magnet coordinator for Kinder High School for the Performing and the Visual Arts, or HSPVA. And I am really excited that you're taking some time today out of your afternoon to get to know a little bit about the school. If you have questions during the presentation, feel free to write them in the chat. If we have some time at the end of my part of the presentation, I'll be able to answer some questions, but we have some members of the HSPVA family that are here and can try to answer any questions in the meantime. So HSPVA is basically two schools in one. We are a traditional high school where students have to take the same required courses that they would have to take at any other HISD school in order to earn their high school diploma. And we're consistently ranked among the top schools in Houston and Texas and the US. And those rankings are specifically based on our academic performance. But the reason that you're probably here is because you or your student is interested in one of our pre-professional arts conservatory programs. And we offer 6 of those in creative writing, dance, theater, visual arts, vocal music, and our instrumental department offers band, not marching band, symphonic band, jazz, mariachi, piano, and orchestra. And what makes HSPVA different from all the other high schools is that our students are able to study one of these areas for 3 hours every single day. Every day, every week, for 4 years of high school. That adds up to more than 2,000 hours of instruction in the arts. So you need to make sure that your student is really passionate about the arts before considering HSPVA. If you were here for a tour in person, which unfortunately we're not able to offer this year, but this is the amazing campus that you'd be entering. This is our campus in downtown Houston, right smack in the middle of the city, in between the theater district to the west and the Minute Maid Stadium, Go Astros, and Discovery Green, and the convention center to the right. This is a 5-story, $80 million state-of-the-art facility that has amazing offerings for emerging artists. Here's some pictures. The upper left is the campus that you would see from Austin Street. To the right of that is a view from our 5th floor terrace, where you can see a little bit of Minute Maid. Below that is, if you were walking into our building, you'd be entering the Commons, and that's what you would see. And then to the left of that is our library with a staircase leading up to the 5th floor. HSPVA has 4 amazing theaters for our students to use throughout the year, and they're usually booked throughout the year. In the upper left is our main theater, the Denny Theater, named after our founder, Ruth Denny. It seats about 800 people, and our largest performances take place there. There's an orchestra and a mezzanine. Our large our dance concerts, our larger music concerts, and our 2 big main musicals, all school productions, also take place there. In the upper right, you'll see our recital hall. So that's for our smaller performances, music performances. And every one of our senior musicians are required to perform a senior recital, which is a celebration, a culmination of everything that they've learned over 4 years. And each of those is in that recital hall. On the lower right, you'll see our black box theater. It's a traditional black box theater used by our theater department. And on the lower left is our studio theater, and that's shared by our theater department and our creative writing department that offers public performances there, and sometimes our music department as well. We also have 2 art galleries, visual art galleries, with complete gallery lighting and AV technology for our students who are incorporating digital media into their work. And here's an example of some of our classrooms, a little bit different from your traditional high school. On the upper left, we have 2 of our dance studios. There's a retractable wall there, and that actually can also be used as a smaller performance space when necessary. In the top row in the middle is our band and orchestra hall, where our large ensembles perform. By the way, these pictures are taken pre-COVID, so that's why nobody's wearing a mask. In the middle of that room, you might see a little ball hanging from the ceiling. It's actually a 360-degree microphone. And all of our music classrooms and performance spaces have recording capabilities that are tied directly into a recording studio. So we're able to record all of those performances with audio. On the upper right, our theater department's costume shop. A lot of our departments offer a broad foundation, especially as you're an underclassman or 9th and 10th grader. So our theater department students study acting, but they also study musical theater and technical theater, which is costume design, set design. So if you come and see one of our productions, everything is made by our students. On the bottom row on the left is our 3D sculpture lab. So that room offers metal sculpture and wood sculpture for our visual arts department. If you see through those doors outside in the back, you'll almost see our ceramic studio. In the lower row in the center is our creative writing suite. So it's a little reading area. I like to think it's very Starbucksy, and then surrounded by classrooms. And on the lower right is our vocal department room. This is a really exciting year for us because HSPVA is celebrating 50 years. We have a lot of great activities that we are planning. So hopefully you follow us on social media. I'll show you that later to see when we announce some of the exciting things that are happening. We were founded in 1971. Our first campus was on the same street that we're on now, but it's south near Midtown, where Houston Community College is now located. We were there for 10 years, and then we moved to Montrose campus for about 40 years. And then 2 years ago, we moved to this brand new campus. We currently have 784 students in the building, about 200 students in each grade. And if you see, everybody's always curious about the breakdown by departments, so they're listed right there. If you're interested in how many freshmen are we going to be accepting in creative writing next year, the general rule of thumb is there's never an exact amount, but if you divide those by those numbers by 4, you will have a rough idea. And I'm not going to do that work for you because I'm a recovering math teacher, so I'm going to encourage you to snap a photo and try to, in your head, using mental math, divide by 4, but you can always take your calculator out if necessary. After HSPVA, because there's usually mostly parents on these calls, 50% of our students go on to continue studying exactly what they're studying at HSPVA. So they already know what they want to do and coming in here, and that's what they end up doing. But the other 50% might not know exactly what they want to do or change their mind. And about 50% of our students go on to do anything and everything else outside the art. But we like to think they're well rounded because they've spent the last 4 years being creative and disciplined. And so really it's a path to do whatever you want. More than 80% of our students at some time will take an AP course, although it's certainly not required. Here's an example of, I picked some highlights of schools that our students from the past 3 years have attended. This is not a listing of all the schools they've been accepted to, and this is not a complete list, but I picked up some of the more prestigious traditional colleges and universities. You'll see Ivy Leagues and the rest of the amazing academic traditional universities, and you'll also see the best conservatory or specialized college programs for students specifically pursuing a career in the arts, whether it's music, theater, visual arts. Yeah, our students are getting into the best of everything. Our students are also constantly recognized with awards for arts competitions. The most prestigious competition is Young Arts that celebrates high school artists in all disciplines from around the country. Each year we have about 10 to 12 winners. And then out of those winners, the ultimate recognition for a high school artist is the U.S. Presidential Scholar in the Arts Award. There's only 20 of those awarded every year. And over the past 20 years, HSPVA has 32 students that have received that honor, including one last year that received the honor for her vocal and academic excellence. Our alumni go on to do great things. Many of them, these are just an example of some of the people that recognize, that represent major working artists in television and film and opera and jazz and photography and publishing and dance and record and music production and fashion design and the business world also. So up there you see award-winning, Grammy award-winning composer Brian Michael Cox. He's on the lower left. The second person on the right, on the bottom row, second person on the right is Justin Simien, who created Netflix's Dear White People and is currently directing Disney's The Haunted Mansion. And then on the upper left is probably our most recognizable alum because she starred on ABC's Grey's Anatomy. She's still starring for the past 20 years, Chandra Wilson. A lot of our alumni we're also equally proud of decide to return to HSPVA and teach the next generation of students. So we currently have 11 members of our faculty that also attended HSPVA when they were in high school. Overall, we have 24 full-time academic faculty and 21 full-time arts faculty. But most of the arts instruction that students receive across all of our departments is actually done by consultants or guest artists who come in and work with our students in specific disciplines, whether they're guest choreographers or whether it's a ceramics teacher who's a local ceramics artist, or whether it's a violin consultant who comes in specifically to work with our violinists. They are throughout the building at all times, and throughout the year, we have at least 100 of those consultants come in and work with our students. And again, they're usually working professionals in the arts, locally or nationally. HSPVA also provides students with the opportunity to work with some of the most prestigious and well-known arts organizations in the country. In Houston, especially since we've moved downtown. Theater Under the Stars is a great partner, and they run our musical theater curriculum for our theater department, and they also work with our vocal students. We have a great relationship with the Society of the Performing Arts, who bring in artists in all different disciplines and they perform in Jones Hall and the Hobby Center and the Wortham Center, and their visiting artists are regularly coming to our school for master classes, and it provides an opportunity for our students to go to see dress rehearsals at their when they're getting ready, and just really providing access to, again, major professionals who are performing in many different media. Discovery Green is a few blocks away, and our music students and theater and vocal students are often performing there throughout the year. We also have great relationships with many of the other arts organizations. Once students are here, we have a block schedule, so most of the classes are 90 minutes every other day. Students have 9 periods, and 4 of those are dedicated to an art area, which is how you get those 3 hours of arts instruction every day. And then the other 5 are academic courses, and that are required: English, math, social studies, science, and foreign language. We offer Spanish and French. Those are the 2 foreign languages that we currently offer. And so you might say, wow, 9 courses, 4 art and 5 academic. Well, when do I take electives? Well, if you come to HSPVA, you've sort of decided that all of your electives are going to be in your art area that you're in. When it comes to the specific classes that you're taking, when it comes to your art area, students, especially 9th and 10th graders, rarely have choices on what they're studying. Those are assigned by the departments. If you visit, you've already found the links to this meeting, so you know where our website is. And if you look at the general page under admissions, you'll find the curriculum for each of our areas and the specific academic courses that we're offering. But especially in all of them, they change year to year. So our departments are consistently reviewing what they're offering and making changes and adjustments based on a lot of different variables. When it comes to your academic courses, students are able to self-select between two different levels of courses for the most part. An on-level course or an honors or advanced or AP level course. We don't have placement tests. Students and parents are able to make their own decisions about what's going to be best with them for them, and our counselors and teachers are always available to help with those decisions. We currently offer 16 AP courses. We don't offer any dual credit programs, but something that's really important to understand is if you're looking and thinking, I'm going to take every one of those AP courses, it's not going to happen at HSPVA. And that's because our scheduling is different than any other of the schools in the area. Our arts classes are scheduled first, and then academic courses fill out everything around those. So it makes it difficult and sometimes impossible for students to get every academic course, specific course that they want. We do our best, but it's inevitable that there's going to be a time where a student is going to want to take a certain class, and because of the way their arts classes are assigned, it might not just be possible. We like to tell you that up front. If that sounds frustrating to you, then we might not be the right school. There are a lot of great HISD schools that offer a lot of different options when it comes to academic offerings. Of course, they don't have the amazing arts program that we have, but every school can offer. Our students are the best students in Houston, the most diverse and creative. We have over 70 student-led clubs. There is a club for everything. If there's not a club, you're able to find a sponsor and start your own club. Every year at the beginning of the year, we have a huge club fair where our new students are able to meet representatives from all of the different groups. This year it was held on our bus ramp outside. We have 5 events throughout the year that are highlights of the year, and they're part of our diversity series. The first event celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month is tonight on campus. It's sold out, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have invited each of you to attend as our guest. But students from all of our departments collaborate to put on a celebration involving performance and sometimes food also. So tonight is Carnival, celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. And then later in the year, we have events that celebrate LGBTQ History Month, Black History Month, Women's History Month, and then probably my favorite, because they bring in cuisines representing all different Asian countries. And that's Night Market, 790 Night Market, that celebrates Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. Another highlights for our student body are our 2 major Broadway caliber productions. 2 years ago, we produced the Mary Poppins and The Color Purple. These productions usually involve more than 100 students on stage, in the orchestra, and behind the scenes. And these are extracurricular productions that are open to anyone in the building. Right now, we're working on Hairspray, and the cast of Hairspray includes members from every single one of our departments. So if you've made it this long, you're probably thinking, well, I hope you're thinking that HSPVA could be a good place for you or your student. And so how do you get here? Well, it's 4 steps. The first is that you need to apply at hisdchoice.com. That's the site where you'll apply for any HISD magnet school or specialty school. You need to complete an application there by November 11th. And this year they're making you select all of the different types of transfers, but we're specifically a magnet transfer. We are not a zone school. We have 0 zone students. We only qualify students based on a competitive audition process. And that's what makes us different than most of the other high schools. So this year, like last year, our first stage of auditions are all virtual. So when you go to our website that you've been to, if you look under audition requirements, you'll see exactly what each department is requiring. And so all students for all of our different areas will be preparing material in advance and then submitting that. And you need to submit those materials by December 3rd. You can start preparing them right now, but you can't submit them yet. We're still finalizing the website we're still finalizing that website. And that will be posted and emailed to anybody who's submitting an application on HISD Choice. We'll send that out in mid-November when you're able to start uploading it. But it doesn't matter if you upload it November 17th or December 3rd. Everything is reviewed at the same time, and they don't know when you submitted your material. After that, our faculty looks at all of the auditions that have come in, and they narrow down the results. And they usually invites a smaller number of students to submit additional material or come in for a live audition. We are not sure what format those are going to take place right now, but we will let students know when you're invited if you're invited for a callback, exactly what would need to be done. And then everybody who's applied to a program within HISD will be notified on January 27th on that same portal. You'll find out which school you've been offered a seat at. And then, of course, you would have 2 weeks to provide proof of residence within HISD to guarantee a spot for the 22-23 school year. So some common questions that we get is that how many auditions do you get? Last year was our smallest since I've been here. We had 850 auditions for about 200 spaces. You're only able to be in one of our programs. Each of them is a 4-year curriculum and builds on each year. So you don't have time. So if you're a visual artist who also likes to dance, you're not able to take any dance course if you're in the visual arts department. You can apply for up to 2 areas, but I would only apply to 2 areas if your students really passionate about 2 areas. I always ask the question, would you be interested in studying that area for 3 hours every day? If the answer is yes, then definitely apply. If the answer has a pause, then it's probably not worth applying because you might not be happy in that department. We don't offer any sports, although students are eligible to participate at a zoned high school. It's not common that happens at all, and you would need to make arrangements with your zone school to see if that's a possibility. We do not have any sibling preference. Rank matters, so make sure that you're ranking us in the order of your true preference. We're not offended if Carnegie or DeBakey is your first choice. And we actually don't know that while we're evaluating your materials. But if you rank Carnegie first and you would qualify for HSPVA, we know that you've already been accepted to Carnegie, and at that point we would fill that seat with somebody else. If you are not currently enrolled in HISD or you're interested in attending for the 10th, 11th, or 12th grade, entering for one of those grades, please check our website for information under the FAQ section that may apply to you. When you submit your application on hisdchoice.com, it's going to say submitted and in processing until that January 27th date. And if you have additional questions, you can contact me or review your website. I try to get all of the answers on there, but you can always email me. I ask that you don't email our faculty directly. They're just going to forward it to me. Follow us on social media so you see what's happening every day at HSPVA and the things we're proud of. If you go to our YouTube channel, you'll see a lot of great performances from the past 2 years when we had to transition to mostly virtual performances. So there's great material there from all of our different departments. We have a great partner called HSPVA Friends who raises money for our arts program. They offer middle school workshops. There are fees required, although scholarships may be available. They're student-led, and attendees would get to participate in activities that our ninth graders may experience while they're at HSPVA. This is not in preparation, and they have no effect on your application. The dates are right there, and that website will give you more information and also let you register. These are, so today you're on a virtual tour. After this, sure, in a couple of minutes, you'll be able to go back to the page where you found this link and join one of our student-led discussions for each of our specific programs. So you'll be able to hear from a student perspective about the program and their students' experiences. I also am available on Saturdays, 2 more Saturdays, October 16th and 30th to at the HISD school choice fairs. But I I go through the same presentation, so probably wouldn't be anything new. But if you'd like to learn more information about a specific department, the time that you can hear from that and meet the faculty and hear from the faculty are at our virtual open houses for our departments, and they're listed there. Those links on the day of the events will be posted on the same site that you found this. So if you're interested, which we hope you are, I encourage you to start talking to your teachers. Let them know that you're interested in HSPVA and that you're going to audition. They are excited when their students get into HSPVA and they're willing to help you. You have 2 months to start to get ready. The materials are due December 3rd. So if you're listening to this, you're already off to a great start because you have plenty of time to prepare. And then ask for help. Students, you don't need to do this by yourself. Well, you need to do it by yourself, but it's always great to get feedback.